Video 26. Here we will see the various health schemes. Okay, so first one is ESI Act. Okay, so this was given in the year 1948. So employees say state insurance. Okay, so the promulgation of Employee State Insurance Act by the Parliament in 1948 was the first major legislation on comprehensive social security for workers in India to provide social protection to workers and their dependents in the organized sector in contingencies such as sickness, maternity and death or disablement due to an employment injury or occupational hazard. So on this various things it focus. So ESI, it's a benefit which is given for the employees. Okay, it is a state insurance. Okay, and then we see that in terms of contingencies, okay, like sicknesses and maternity, death, disablement due to any employment injury or occupational hazard. So there was a certain amount of insurance that was provided to the people. So ESI Act 1948 applies to non-seasonal factories using power in and employing 10 or more person. So any institution which has got 10 or more person, they are eligible to apply for ESI. Non-seasonal and non-power using factories and establishment empowering 20 or more person. Okay, so here we see non-seasonal and non-power using factories above 20 can apply. Employees of the factories and establishment in receipt of wages not exceeding 1,500 per month are covered under this act. So the salary should not go above 7,500, but now it is above 15,000. Okay, so every private and private as well as government sector has this benefit, and it is 15,000 and above. Even if it is 15,001, they cannot avail this ESI. Benefits. What are the various benefits? So we see that section 46 of the act envisages following 6 social security benefit. So what are those? Medical benefit, sickness benefit, maternity benefit, disablement benefit, dependent benefit and other benefits. So we will just go through. So medical benefit, when we say full medical care is provided to an insured person and his family members. So family members are also involved along with the working person. The family also will be given the certain insured amount. They are also provided with the benefit. There is no ceiling or expenditure on the treatment of any insured person. So there is no money really taken. Medical care is provided to retired and permanently disabled insured person and their spouses on payment of a token annual premium of rupees 120. So they have to pay every month. They will deduct certain amount of money. Okay, very little least. So here they have given rupees 120 for year. So what are the treatment that is given? System of treatment, scale of medical benefit, benefit to retired IPS. Okay, for whom all? Domiciliary treatment, administration of medical benefit in a state, inpatient treatment, imaging services, special consultation. For all these, they will be able to avail the ESI. Special provision, artificial limbs and aids, special provisions, reimbursement. Okay, so reimbursement is after they have logged in, the money, they have got admitted in the hospital, the money will be reimbursed. If they had spent, then after applying, the money will be given back to them. So sickness benefit, sickness in the form of cash compensation at the rate of 70% of wages and payable to insured workers during the period of certified sickness for a maximum of 21 days in a year. In order to qualify for sickness benefit, the insured worker is required to contribute for 78 days in a contribution of period of 6 months. So when we say sickness benefit, it is given at the rate, compensation rate of 70% of wages is payable. So 70% will be given by the insurance. Okay, period of certified sickness for a maximum of 91 days in a year. So for 91 days in a year, if they fall sick, 70% of the money will be paid by the ESI. In order to qualify sickness benefit, they have to contribute for 78 days in contribution of period of 6 months. So they should also would have given their contribution, only after that for 6 months, then 78 days, in a contribution period of 6 months, if they have done, only then they will get this ESI benefit. So extended sickness benefit will be given, which is for up to 2 years in case of 34 malignant and long-term disease at a enhanced rate of 80% of wages. Then enhanced sickness benefit. So you have to, by heart all these. Okay, enhanced sickness benefit equal to full wages payable to insured person undergoing sterilization 7 days or 14 days for male or female workers respectively. So when we say extended sickness benefit, they get for malignant, 34 malignant and long-term diseases, 80% of the wages will be provided to them. Okay, so if it is 25,000, 80% of the wages will be given even when they are on sick leave, when they produce all the documents. And in case of full wage, enhanced sickness benefit equal to full wage is payable if they are undergoing sterilization as a family planning for 7 to 14 days for male and female. Then for this they will give the full salary will be paid in their absence also. So maternity benefit, we know that they are giving for 6 months. So now they are asking for 9 months. So if you are a member of ESI, then you will get your whole of your salary. Maternity benefit for confinement pregnancy is payable for 3 months, which is extended by further 1 month on medical advice. So now it is for 6 months. 3 months. They are asking for 6 months. Okay, so here they have given already extension of 1 month on medical advice at the rate of full wage subject to contribution. For 84 days in the preceding year, the rate of confinement expenses has been increased from 2,000 to 5,000 per confinement. Okay, next talking about the disablement. So temporary disablement benefit, permanent disable benefit. So here from day one of entering insurable employment and irrespective of having paid any contribution in case of employment injury, temporary disablement benefit at the rate of 90% of wages payable as long as disability continues. So if they will assess if it is where the person cannot come to the work, so 90% of coverage will be given based upon the disablement. Okay, and then permanent means the benefit is paid at the rate of 90% of wage in the form of monthly payment depending upon the extent loss of earning capacity as certified by a medical board. Medical board should tell them how many years of service they could actually offer, and now because of which disability they are not able to do, then ESI will be paying them according to the certification of the medical board, 90% of the salary. So temporary means for 3-4 months they might not go to work, again they will join in. So in that case also they will receive 90% of the salary. Then dependent benefit, DP, paid at rate of 90% of wage in the form of monthly payment on the dependent of the deceased insured person in cases where death occurs due to employment injury or occupational hazard. 90% of the salary will be paid to the family members in case if a person dies in the due to occupational hazard or employment injury. Okay, during employment if it happens, then they will pay. What are the other benefits? Funeral expense are given, an amount of 10,000 is payable to the dependents or to the person who performs last right from one day of entering insurable employment. So if a person has died, rupees 10,000 will be given to the person who has conducted the funeral. Confinement expenses, an insured amount of an IP in respect of his wife in case confinement occurs at place where necessary medical benefits under ESI scheme are not available. So in hospital, if these are not available, still confinement expenses will be given to the insured women. Then vocational rehabilitation, permanently disabled insured person for undergoing training, they will provide money. Physical rehabilitation, so again because of any employment injury, for there is a physical disablement, they will provide the money. And then old age medical care for insured person retiring on attending the age of superannuation or under VRS, ERS and person having to leave service due to permanent disability, insured person and spouse on payment of rupees 120 per annum. Okay, so for insured person who is retired, okay, or the age, he has ended up having certain kind of permanent disability, and if they have been paying the premium, they will also receive this benefit. Then Rajiv Gandhi Shramik Kalyan Yojana, this is for the scheme of unemployment allowance, was introduced with effect from 1st April 2005. An insured person who become unemployed after being insured 3 or more years due to closure of factory, like lockdown period, if they shut down the factory or retrenchment or permanent validity are entitled to, then they will get equal to 50% of wage for maximum period of up to 1 year until they find another job. Medical care for self and family from ESI hospital dispensary during the period of IP services. Unpatient allowance, okay, so if unemployment allowance, even for sickness it is given for them as well as for the family members. Vocational training provided for upgrading skills, if they don't find employment, then they also give them occasional training. And then expenditure on free travelling allowance borne by the ESIC. Okay, next last one is the incentive to employers in the private sector for providing regular employment to the person with disability. So minimum age limit for physically disabled person for availing ESIC benefit is 25,000. Okay, and then employees contribution is paid by central government for 3 years. So physically disabled, for availing people with this benefit, they will get rupees 25,000. For 3 years they will get this amount. Okay, so these are all the various benefits that is given by, provided by ESI. Okay, so next we will go on to central government health scheme. So it was started under the Indian Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in the year 1954 with the objective to providing comprehensive medical facilities to central government employees. So the mainly this is given to central government employees, prisoners who are in the jail and their dependents residing in CGHS coverage. Okay, where this scheme is covered. And then the central government health scheme in India is comprehensive health care to the CGHS beneficiaries. They give total care for people who come under this coverage of the scheme. The central government health scheme is applicable to the following categories of people residing in GHS covered cities. Okay, now all central government servants paid for civil estimates other than those employed in railway service, those employed under Delhi administration except members of Delhi police force. So central government from civil estimates. So these people will avail these. Then pensioners drawing pension from civil estimates and their family members. So they will be, getting the benefit. Honorable members of parliament, honorable judges of Supreme Court of India, ex-members of parliament, employees and prisoners of autonomous bodies. Pensioners. Oh my goodness. It is not prisoners, it is pensioners. Okay, excuse me. Okay, and then employees and pensioners of autonomous bodies covered under CGHS Delhi, ex-governors and ex-vice presidents. Then you have former prime minister. So, apart from people who are working in, railways or in the defense, these are the other people who are employed in the central government. So, all these people will receive the benefits of CGHS. Okay, former prime minister, former judge, then freedom fighters. Then if we provide, then you have it provide service through following categories of system: allopathy, homeopathy, Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, yoga, Siddha system. So all these people who've been working under central government, so they will be able to avail, except those of people who are not from any defense or air force or other police or Delhi administration. So what are the components? So dispensary services including domiciliary care is given. Then maternal health services, family welfare services are provided. Then specialist consultation facilities both at dispensary, polyclinic, hospital level, including X-ray, ECG and laboratory examination, hospitalization, all diagnostic procedure, all hospitalization, and then organization of the purchase, storage, medicines, health education to beneficiaries. So all these are provided. Okay, family welfare, MCH services, domiciliary care, investigations, hospitalization, distribution and supply of medication, health education. Then facilities under the scheme. What are the various facilities we will see? So it is mainly with outpatient department care through network of dispensary, supply of necessary drugs and medicine, laboratory, domiciliary, hospitalization, as I has been already told. Then you have specialist consultation. They can consult different specialist, immunization, antenatal and postnatal services, limited medical emergency treatment, supply of various appliances like pacemaker, artificial SA node, okay, hearing aid, orthopedic appliances, nebulizer, etc. All these are also provided. Family welfare services, family planning program and health education, then services of Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, systems of medicine. All these are the care or facilities under the scheme. Okay, so with this, I think in this video we have seen about ESI, and in ESI when you see when it was started, what are the benefits? So medical, sickness, maternity, disablement. Under disablement you have temporary and permanent, then dependent, the family members. Other benefits like they also get funeral expenses, confinement, occasional rehabilitation, physical, old age medical care if they have been paying the premium, Rajiv Gandhi, Shramik Kalyan Yojana. Then incentive to employees in the private sector for providing regular employment to the person with disability. So you can study the headings and just study if there is amount or premium that you can learn by heart. Otherwise you should be able to write. Okay, and then CGHS. So who are the people there? They are coming government employees. Sorry, I said prisoners. It is pensioners, and then dependent residing in CHS covered. Okay, so go through what are the components and the facilities. And the last one topic is there. Okay, so I think we can also cover that. So with this, your unit is over. Unit 6 for both GNM and 4th BSc is over. So health insurance. So when we talk about health insurance, it is an insurance against the risk of incurring medical expenses. By estimating the overall risk of healthcare expenses, an insurer can develop a routine finance structure such as monthly premium they pay, or it is a payroll tax, to ensure that money is available to pay for healthcare benefits specified in the insurance agreement. So when they sign the health insurance, they will know how much of the money will be there. According to the health agreement, it can be monthly basis where you pay the premium, or it can be 3 months once or 6 months once. However is your insurance, you should be able to pay for it. Definition: protection scheme, process of protecting a person from contingent risk of losses through financial means in return for relatively small regular payments to insurance company. A hedging instrument against future contingent losses. Instrument for managing the possible future risk. Guarantees payments to a person in the event of sickness or injury. So what is this health insurance? When you are paying every month, for example, so in life insurance, it is actually a government insurance. For health insurance, according to your age, they will calculate. So when you are getting enrolled, if you are old age, then they will make sure that you get a healthy certificate. You should be healthy without any kind of diseases. So it is important that you have an health insurance when you are at a younger age, right? So it becomes easy. So every month when you pay a certain amount of limited, like 150, 170, okay, so this will help you in all of a sudden if there is an accident, or all of a sudden a person has developed with appendectomy or herniaotomy or cardiac open heart surgery or valve replacement surgery or neurosurgery. So according to the plan that you are paying, there will be 70% or 80% coverage of the money which will be given by the insurance company itself. Okay, so that's the benefit of health insurance. So we have seen that in the definition. So history and evolution, when you see, the concept of health insurance was proposed in 1694 itself by Hooke and the elder Chamberlain from the Peter Chamberlain family. In the late 19th century, accident insurance began to be available, which operated much like modern disability insurance. So first it was in 1694, it was started by Hooke the elder Chamberlain from the Peter Chamberlain family. 19th century, we see that accident insurance also came into existence. This payment model continued until the start of the 20th century in some jurisdiction like California, where all the laws regulating health insurance actually refer to disability insurance. The first employer-sponsored group disability policy was issued in 1911. During the middle of late 20th century, traditional disability insurance evolved into modern health insurance program. Today, most comprehensive private health insurance program cover the cost of routine, preventive and emergency healthcare procedures and more prescription drugs. But this is not always the case. Hospital and medical expenses policies were introduced during the first half of the 20th century. So in the 20th century only, they started giving all this coverage. During the 1920s, individual hospitals began offering services to individuals on a prepaid basis, eventually leading to the development of Blue Cross organization. So what are the need? To increase access, to provide financial protection, to improve quality of care, to control cost, to regulate the private sector. Okay, so how it works? An health insurance policy is a contract between an insurance company and an individual or his sponsor. Example, employer. So even an employer can give us a health insurance. This contract can be renewable annually, monthly or lifelong. We can pay it. The type of amount of healthcare cost will be covered by the health insurance company and are specified in advance. In a member contract or evidence of coverage booklet, the individual insured person's obligation may take several forms. Now premium. So how it is actually maintained. Okay, there are about 11 points. Okay, with this we are closing this chapter. All the programs according to a syllabus is covered. So premium, the amount of the policy holder or his sponsor, employer pays to the health. So the amount of the policy holder or his sponsor, even an employer will be paying if it is given by the employer, okay, which will cover or purchase the health coverage. Then deductible, the amount of that insured must pay out of pocket before the health insurance pays its share. For example, policy holders may have to pay $500 deductible per year before any of their healthcare is covered by health insurance. Already they should be a member, and here in LIC they say you should have paid for 6 months or you should have been a member of 1 year. After that only, if you have any ill health, then the insurance company will pay for you. Co-payment, the amount that the insured person must pay out of pocket before the health insurer pays for a particular visit. For example, so what is co-payment? So once when a person he is already been paying for 2 years, now he had a accident, so he's admitted in the hospital, immediately he will not get the claims. So he has to pay from his hand, and then he has to collect all the hospital details they will give you. For insurance means they will give you all the details, and then you have to claim, okay, the money. So insured person might get $45 co-payment for the doctor's visit or to obtain prescription. A co-payment must be made each time a particular service is obtained. Now co-insurance, instead of or in addition to paying a fixed amount up front, a co-payment, the co-insurance is a percentage of the total cost that insured person may also pay. For example, the member might have paid 20% of the cost of surgery over and above a co-payment, while the insurance company pay the other 80%. If there is an upper limit or on co-insurance, the policy holder could end up owing very little or great deal depending on the actual cost. So here 80% will be borne by the company, 20% the person has to pay. That is called as co-insurance. Exclusions, not all services will be covered. The insured are generally, so that we have to see, okay, whatever under each scheme, some have got for maternity also, but many services they don't have, like LIC don't have maternity benefits. So we have to see, so if it is not covered, then the person has to pay his own expense. Insurance will not be provided. Coverage limit, some health insurance pay for healthcare up to certain amount only they will give. For example, if your insurance coverage is only 5 lakh, if the expense is 8 lakh, only 5 lakh will be given by the company, insurance company, then other 3 lakh you have to pay. Okay, so for health plan maximum. So in addition, some insurance company schemes have annual or lifetime coverage maximum, and then again and again they will not give you also 1 or 2, if you get hospitalized 5 times, again they will not give you for every expense if it exceeds the amount. Out of pocket maximum, similar to coverage limits, except that in the case the insured person payment obligation ends when they reach off out of pocket maximum, and health insurance pays all further covered costs. Out of pocket maximum can be limited to a specific benefit such as prescription drugs, or can apply to all coverage provided during a benefit year. So similar to the coverage limits, here also out of maximum it goes, then you will have to bear it. Capitation, that is the money amount paid by insured to a healthcare provider for which the provider agrees to treat all the members. So here capitation is where the insurance company will already pay to the healthcare providers, where they will take care of the members of the insurer. Then in-network provider, that is US term. So here healthcare provider on a list of providers pre-selected by the insurer. The insurer will offer discounted co-insurance co-payment for additional benefits to a plan member to see as in a network provider. Generally, providers in network are providers who have a contract with the insurer to accept rates further discounted from the usual and customary changes the insurer pays to out of network providers. So in network provider is somewhere, it's mainly followed in US, okay, the US term. So here they will give certain amount of discount will be given when it comes into co-payment and co-insurance. In these two types already we have seen, they will give certain amount of discount. Then prior authorization, so certification or authorization that an insurer provides private to medical service offering. So initially they should tell, when they get admitted itself, they should say that they are having this health insurance, and they should take all the medical certificate. It should be authorized and it should be submitted. Small routine services do not require authorization. If it is small diagnostic procedures, no problem, but for a longer hospitalization, longer stay in the hospital and a big expense, they have to provide. Then explanation of benefits, a document that may be sent by insured to a patient explaining what was covered for medical service and how payment amount and patient responsibility amount was determined. So we have to explain, insurance should be explained regarding the benefits to the insurer. So these are the various things that we have to keep in mind. This is how it works, and this is all about health insurance. We have seen introduction, definition, history, when it was started, and the need and how it works. Under that we have seen premium, deductible, co-payment, co-insurance, exclusion, coverage limit, out-of-pocket maximums, capitation, in-network provider, prior authorization, explanation of benefits. So with this, your unit 6 community is over. We have covered all the health program as per your syllabus. Please go through. Any doubt, keep it posted. And so yeah, so your coordinator will tell me. For third year GNM, one more unit is there, so I will be starting. Okay, so I think Tuesday, okay, we'll start with that another unit. I think it is second or fourth unit, I'm not sure. Okay, population, what you have studied already, environmental sanitation, so we will just go through it again. Okay, so yeah.